Hey everybody, I'm Brad Williams, Big Table's board chair and your MC for Eats Around the World 2020 style. Our theme for our virtual fundraiser is right on your screen, Big Table in the Storm, because let's face it, this year and this pandemic has battered every one of us. And many of those in the restaurant and hospitality industry have lost everything, or they've barely survived this long but don't know if they can make it any longer. So it feels appropriate to face this head on and name it. I can tell you there has never been a more critical need for Big Table and the care that we together provide for those in crisis. We all saw in March how the entire industry was shattered overnight and millions lost their jobs. Big Table was there, not just with triage care, but to offer hope and a voice on the other end of the phone saying that someone cared. And as the country has jumped and skittered and back and forth through all the shutdown and reopening phases, and so many scrambled to figure out what to do, our care teams have never stopped reaching out to those most in need. In the next half hour, we want to give you a glimpse of hope. Hope in the storm. We create community and we care for those in crisis in the restaurant and hospitality industry, and this right now is exactly what is needed. I'll be back to share more, but now let me introduce our city director in Spokane, Chris Dietz. Hey Chris, I have a little something for you here.
Hand sanitizer. Oh, Brad, that's a nice touch for 2020. Let me add to his welcome and just say thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Chris Dietz, and I am the City Director for Big Table Spokane, and have the honor and privilege of serving with the team here. See, many other organizations were struggling how to assess and access the industry, while we've been in the mix of this the whole time for the past decade. So it wasn't the question of what do we do next, but rather, how do we do more of what we've already been doing? And tonight we've asked Tim Veach to share a little bit of her story, how she connected with Big Table, and hope through the storm.
I had went to work on Sunday, March 15th, and I kind of had heard they might be closing all the restaurants and bars, and then the next day, around probably like 10 in the morning, I got a call and they just told me servers and dishwashers are not coming into work, and we'll call you in the next few days and kind of let you know what's going on. Apply for unemployment, and as soon as we hear anything that changes the situation, we'll let you know. That was pretty much the last conversation that I had with them for a while. Big Table's done a lot for me. They've helped pay part of my rent, and then also they did an amazing thing and sent a whole bunch of like homeschooling materials and just gardening materials, hygiene products, and a lot of it was for my son. And with the school systems going the way they are, homeschooling is definitely in our future, so that was just really helpful to be able to get all that stuff to help us start out. Just even knowing that there was a possibility of people out there that could help, or even just answer questions that you have, or point you in the direction of resources. That's really where most of the calming effect came from, just knowing that there are people out there and that this group is out there to help people and that this organization exists. I mean, all the, items and presents and gifts, that is like a big extra thing, and that's great, but really just being able to reach out and have that information given to you and resources and just know that there are people there to help, that's where the biggest relief and joy came from, I guess. I feel that this experience has changed me emotionally by giving me a lot of hope. I didn't know that this organization even existed, and it was really stressful not knowing, what am I gonna do about the rent, and what am I gonna do about this, and what am I gonna do about that, what is gonna happen, because everything is just so uncertain, and it so really is. But it was a huge relief to know that there was a special group of people out there that just, their whole drive is to help the people in the service industry. So it was a really big relief. It was great. It made me feel not so alone.
You know, we certainly track statistics, but it is the individual stories like this that make Big Table what it is. You know, we're just getting started, but part of the flexibility of a virtual event like this is that you don't need to wait until some specific moment to give. It's simple to do, and the website address is at the bottom of your screen. And let me just mention, if you're one of our amazing virtual table hosts tonight who's invited friends to join you from their own homes, how about you text them and share what you would hope that you might raise as a virtual table group tonight? Now, on with the show. Let me summon to your home with yet another bottle of hand sanitizer, Kevin Finch, Big Table's founder and executive director. Kevin, this one's for you.
Thanks, Brad, for keeping us on track and fully sanitized. You might notice the Big Table toilet paper stockpile behind me. That's actually 210 rolls of premium 2-ply. And we did that just because you got to have a little bit of humor in this crazy time. But I'm not actually in the Big Table toilet paper bunker. No, I'm actually in a restaurant that was closed in March and is still empty, Manitou Tap House. Here's the truth. None of us have a roadmap for navigating this pandemic. But I can tell you that our mission as Big Table is absolutely critical now, just as critical as it was in 2009 when Big Table started in the midst of the last recession. So many organizations appeared out of nowhere this year to meet urgent needs because no one existed to care for those needs. Big Table is different. We didn't just form in March. We have 11 years of hands-on experience caring for those most in need right now. We have systems in place, trained teams, relationships and partnerships throughout the community, all of which prepared us for the crisis that COVID brought. If you've set foot in a church or synagogue, there's a good chance you've heard the story of Esther. Esther was a young Jewish refugee in the Persian Empire. Against all odds, Esther was chosen to be queen in something of a Miss Persia beauty pageant. This took place just before a plot to wipe out every Jew in the empire was set in motion. Esther's uncle sent her a message when the plot was discovered, and he asked her this: could it be that you were made queen for just such a time as this? My question in a Big Table frame would be this: could it be that God designed Big Table for just such a time as this? We exist to care for those in crisis in the largest industry in the nation, or the industry that was the largest in the nation before over 8 million restaurant workers were let go in March. At the same time, at least as many hotel workers also lost their jobs. Now, these workers were already the most vulnerable in the country before the world turned upside down. They have been. They have been for years. And Big Table has been caring for them for years. 11 years. Our goal from day one has been to help people long term rather than just kick the can down the road a month or two. And I can tell you that it works. From day one of the shutdown, our whole team was all in. Referrals flooded in, and we responded. Already, we've helped over 1,500 care recipients. And with their families, that means that Big Table has already directly impacted over 5,000 people right on the edge. But this isn't over. And who continues to struggle the most? It's those at the bottom of the ladder, hourly employees in restaurants and hotels who still don't have jobs to go back to, who are only getting a fraction of the hours that they need to survive. Now, I could tell you more myself, but let me share the screen with someone who's also on the front lines.
When COVID first hit, we saw immediate fear, really, about job security. I think it's not lost on the people that work in our industry and in my restaurant that this is a pretty fickle industry, and when money goes away, when jobs go away, whether it's our jobs or the jobs of the people that come in and purchase our product, it impacts us in a big way. So my first fear was obviously for them, and how can I keep all these people on payroll? How can I keep everybody fed and happy? What can we do to sustain ourselves as a business, but also take care of the people that take care of us? I thought of Big Table almost instantly, and I knew they'd be swamped with people like me that thought of them too because of the reputation they built for helping people in this kind of situation. And it's really been remarkable to me to watch how well they've navigated such a big crisis, going from, I don't know the numbers, but helping, a few people a week, a few people a month, to I'm sure people beating down their door. but to still be checking in and seeing how we're doing and not waiting for us to reach out to them. They've been a great voice and a great, system of comfort for a lot of our staff, I know. We do everything we can to support our employees and their family to us, but there's things we just don't have the resources to do or the connections to make happen. So to have somebody like Big Table that could even just sometimes point us in the right direction of who to talk to has been huge for me. And a lot of times that's been the help, isn't something financial or something tangible, but hey, this is who you should go talk to help this person, or maybe there's a counselor or something like that that somebody needs to talk to, making those connections and really bridging those gaps and helping us facilitate. So, to know that somebody has our back as a restaurant as a means to help us help our crew and our team is a really huge thing. If I was to describe Big Table with one word, it would be present, because they really just do make their presence known in such a caring and unobtrusive way. I mean, they really do care about the people they serve, and they really are there for them every step of the way. Big Table's always been great about building the relationships and the follow-up in those relationships. I've had some pretty hard characters, so to speak, that have worked for me through the years that the group at Big Table's maintained relationships with long after they've provided help. And it's sometimes the help, monetarily or with bills, whatever it is, I mean, that goes a long way. But for a lot of these people, knowing there's somebody out there that genuinely cares about how they're doing, their well-being, their family, their comfort, their job situation, some of these people haven't had that before. A lot of us haven't had that before. So I think that goes miles and miles. We can't stress the importance of this enough. This is an industry that's just a huge segment of our economy. This employs millions of people in America. And it's one where there's just constant fear, COVID or not. I mean, this is an industry of high turnover. This is an industry of, high levels of substance abuse, marital issues. I mean, there's a lot that comes with this. It's a high stress industry and it's very volatile. And to be able to partner with somebody or a group like Big Table that really does care, really does step up to the plate, solicits coming in and giving help without us having to ask for it and continues to follow up with the people it helps, is huge. It provides such a comfort to the people on the other end of the assistance.
Well, Kevin is going to share more, and we have 2 more stories we'd like to share with you, but now's the time we want to ask you to consider how you can support Big Table. For us to continue to help at the pace that the needs are coming in, we need your generosity tonight. If you're financially able to give, would you do so? Give what you can, but let me just share the impact for an individual or family in crisis at several specific levels. $1,500 to $2,000 keeps a family in their home. Right now, that rent or mortgage is the biggest bill, and so many other things depend on the stability of a home. And once a family is evicted, all sorts of dominoes begin to fall, and it takes so much more money and support to rehouse them. If you give $1,000, that covers food for a family for a month. Some of the referrals that we've been getting share the despair of parents that are unable to provide for even the basic needs of their kids. $500 covers a critical bill for a family for a month. This can keep water on, this can keep lights on, this can keep a car from being repossessed. All sorts of needs can be met with $500. $250 provides triage care for a single person in crisis. And let me just tell you, it's amazing what $250 towards a critical bill does to keep a person from spiraling. If you can give $100 keeps a person's phone on. And that sounds like it's not that big of a deal, but that allows them to communicate with an employer or receive calls from a job if it becomes available. They can communicate with their kids and their family. Maybe you're in a place to give more than what I've just suggested. I want to just say, please do. Or maybe what you can give, you feel like it's not significant. It doesn't really add up. And let me just tell you, whatever you give, we will turn that into hope. And so the question is, how do you give? The simplest way is if you can go to our website online. It's a secure website, www.big-table.com. We also have included several mail-in giving envelopes in each host box. And if you have any trouble, just call us and email us. We would be glad to help you give. No joke. Kevin, is there anything else that you want to add here?
One idea that I've got. Would you share this video with some friends or colleagues? Currently, it's a private link, but tomorrow we're going to open it up so that anyone who wants can watch it. We'll send you an email if we have your email, and we'd ask that you post a link on social media or email it to a couple friends who you think might be interested in the Big Table story. I mentioned earlier that Big Table started in the middle of a recession, and we've been caring for those most vulnerable for 11 years. We have deep roots to weather this storm. We're established, and we know how to care effectively. But we truly need your help. and not just in the next few moments with a gift. I'm asking if you would join nothing less than a movement that has been building for a decade. Because together through the storm, we can actually change not just the city, but our country, caring together for those who are most vulnerable, one person at a time. Would you join us? We need your financial generosity if you are able, but we also want to ask you to personally connect with the people behind the masks right now. For years, I've been challenging people to see the needs behind the smiles of those who serve them. Now we can't even see their smiles, but we can care. A one-time gift is a huge help. But if you can give monthly over the next year, your gift compounds to allow us to help so many more people. Let me ask that key question one more time. Could it be that Big Table exists for just such a time as this? Here's another story of what we together have been able to do. But this one started before the pandemic and gives a glimpse of the longer arc, the longer term impact of Big Table.
I was working at Dairy Queen. They recommended Big Table, and they really helped me and made a difference in my life. They helped me when I needed rental assistance. They helped me be able to find counseling and connect me with people who could help me continue to walk through the dark time, but make it a lot easier so that it wasn't so scary or overwhelming, because I wanted to save my relationship with my fiance and with my children. I wanted to be able to make sure that I was there for my kids and to be able to be a positive role model so that, when they're 20, 30 years old, they can say, wow, my parents were there for me, versus saying I came from a broken home. To me, that's more important than anything else, is being there for my children and making my family work, even when things get hard, not giving up. And I think that it really made a difference in my life and really helped me be able to stay focused and grounded in a situation that had the potential to kind of send me down a different path. I'd say that's probably one of the main aspects of Big Table that I like, is the fact that it is relational. Like just the last time when I met with Scott, we met over coffee, and I was able to talk with him, and being able to kind of have that rapport and stuff, it makes it a lot easier to open up and just kind of go back and forth, and him to find out what it is I need. And it doesn't feel like I'm talking to someone who's looking at me in my situation and talking down to me. It feels like I'm talking to somebody who actually cares, like a friend. Because of Big Table, my life now is definitely better. I'm in a better place with my fiance and with my children. We're in the process of remodeling a house, and while that's crazy in and of itself, we've been able to find a counselor and talk with a counselor and continue to work through issues that we have and continue to push on, and things are getting better. This has definitely been an experience for me to realize that it takes time to build a relationship. It takes time to build, a marriage, a family, and those type of things, and they don't happen overnight. And, Big Table's been an integral part of that by being able to help me by connecting me with counselors and other resources that I needed at the time. So it's an amazing organization, and I really, really appreciate that Big Table exists.
In Spokane, we've been providing triage care and relational care as we can. See, overnight, 60% of those in the industry lost their jobs, and since then, only 20% have been hired back. If you focus that even more to independent hotels and restaurants, that number jacks up to 90 to 100% of those were laid off overnight. And many of them are still wondering what to do next. But guess what? We can do something about this, and we need your help. Tonight, we need to raise $80,000 for Big Table Care, and this will help support upwards of 650 individuals for those in need. And the great news is, we're not alone in this. We've reached out to a few folks that have been supporting Big Table for years, and they wanted to say something too.
I am Brendan Bias with Tito's Handmade Vodka.
I'm Aaron Fish from Eat Good Group.
Hello, I'm Greg Anderson with McGregor's Ale House.
Hi, this is Rip Ripito.
Hi, this is Mike Kilgore with Kilgore Architectural Products.
My name is Oz Blackcolor with Cueva Bar Cafe.
I'm Diane Smith with Barris, Smith & Kaminsky CPAs.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Leinonen, founder and CEO of Gourmando Co.
And I'm Tyler Hefford Anderson, part of the chef team here at Gourmando, as well as member of the Big Table Board in Seattle.
Hi, I'm Amy Lee with Breakpoint.
Hi, I'm Kelly Groves with the Davenport Hotels.
Hi, I'm Danny Walters with US Foods.
I'm Manny Hockheimer from Numerica Credit Union.
I'm Julie Norris from Downriver Grill.
I'm David Hine.
And I'm Megan Hine.
We own Beaumont's and Brocktonville Restaurants in La Jolla.
I'm Charlie Blaine with Blaine Realty.
This is Jamie Fox from Hops and Drops.
I'm Randy Irvine from Harbor Food Service.
Hi, I'm Elena Kerber, president of Ascent Hospitality Group.
I'm Philip Anderson with Ecolab.
I'm Rod Greenshills with the Vasara Wealth Management Group at Morgan Stanley.
Thank you for joining us and supporting Big Table.
That was only a few of the companies that we've been honored to partner with to care for those in the industry. From day one, we committed to do this together with others, and that has been a part of the joy of Big Table. Just as the pandemic hit, we were putting together a video that highlighted the long-term transformation possible through Big Table Care, and we wanted to share that one with you as well.
All of the most vulnerable people who are still able to work end up concentrating in the restaurant and hospitality industry because it's a place where you can get a job without barriers to entry.
My smile has been a dead end in my career just because I can't really be in front of people with my own self-conscious business, just being shy, and I want to walk out and smile when I talk to them, and it's kind of makes me feel like they're almost going to lose their appetite, with me walking out there.
Yeah, we've been to the edge and back a couple of times.
We've had a hard go at it the last 7 years.
Yeah.
You put all of those people under one roof, it's no surprise that there's going to be all of those risk factors and high statistics.
Met up with the wrong people and started using methamphetamines. And I did that for about 2.5 years, $360 worth a day. It was a whole different nightmare than anything else I've ever had. I mean, I was sleeping on park benches and couch surfing, depending on where I was gonna get my drugs from was where I was gonna stay that night.
It's a place that if you can't get a job anywhere else, you can get a job in a restaurant, you can get a job in a hotel. It's kind of this collective pool of some of the most vulnerable individuals.
It's the small things that sink somebody or sink a family, like, oh crap, the electric bill went up, or oh man, baby needs diapers again.
So Big Table is fitting a need that no one else was by really caring for just that group of people.
We've just come a really long way since Big Table first got started with us.
It's almost like they know when you need the help.
They weren't sure how they were going to get their baby home from the hospital because they didn't have a car seat. So that was step one.
They didn't know we needed a lawnmower, but they asked if we needed a lawnmower, and we absolutely did.
There was a time that we were having a crisis with our electric bill, and they paid that for us.
They really do care. They want to be a part of your life. They want to know how your kids are, how you are. They want to know, if things are looking up, or if they can help you with mentoring or getting connected with counseling or anything. They're amazing.
Chris would buy me a coffee and we'd just talk about life. Chris has a great big heart, and that's what Big Table's all about.
The opportunities now that they get to provide for their kids and their family aren't plagued by the past anymore, but really they're able to look to the future ahead.
It's not even the same world. It's not even the same life. Now we pay a mortgage. Our mortgage is set. We got that. And we're not riding the bus anymore. We have vehicles.
I am so proud of them. It's really fun to celebrate with them.
Everything's gotten 1,000 times better.
I've been so excited to see where Robbie is now.
The referral came in for that he needed teeth.
I can smile now. I actually have teeth that I'm proud to show. You know, I get to be happy again. Went from being stagnant on being alive to happy to be alive.
I mean, the way he held himself seemed different. He's taken a life that felt like it had no hope to building his family and building his career.
It's broadened my career. I mean, I'm able to do jobs or look into jobs and career paths that I had never even dreamed of. And so, yeah, I went to graphic design. I went from, you know, my 3 months of training to 3 months later being moved to a senior, 4 months down the road to being moved to a lead. It definitely changed everything for me.
Our goal is to walk alongside someone and support them, build capacity in their lives. If we do that, we've succeeded.
To just have a loving, non-judgmental hand is priceless.
Having someone reach out and pull me out of that darkness was, you know, something that I'll never forget.
So hey, before we wrap this whole thing up, we thought we'd give you one more perspective of Big Table and the folks behind it. I'm Mark Patrick.
And I'm Tara Patrick, and we've been givers since 2012.
That sounds like a long time, but I've also served on the board for 6 of those years, so for us, it seems like it just hasn't been very long at all.
No, and I think what really just drew us to Big Table was how pure it was, how much they just give straight from their heart. There's not a lot of strings attached. And, you know, I remember one Christmas we had a chance to give to a family in need, and Mark and I went to Target with this list of all their needs, and they had 3 boys, and we were just having the best time just ripping toys off the shelves, throwing them in the cart, and it was a blessing for us and just such a joy to be able to help other people.
That's one of the great things about Big Table is when they're giving care, whether it's financial, emotional, spiritual, whatever it might be, it's real time and it's material right then and there. You're helping people immediately, and we got a chance to feel that. Christmas has always been a big deal to our family, and as our kids have gotten older, to be able to relive Christmas through a family we hadn't met before was really cool. So it was a big deal for us at Christmas time, but right now might be the most important time for all of us to be thinking about where we give some help for people who really need it.
I know, with COVID going on, there's just so much need, and you know, everything you read in the paper is just, it's kind of heartbreaking, and I feel like anything we can do to help those people, even if it's just new shoes or rent or, you know, even bigger things, it's just so needed right now and so important.
So we hope you'll think about it. We know you give to a lot of organizations just like we try to do, and we sure appreciate that and want to thank you for that. But if you're looking for a place that you can really count on your money going as far as it possibly can, I would recommend Big Table. I told you I served on the board for 6 years, and I would tell you, I watched Kevin and Jill and Chris just stress over every dollar that comes in to make sure that they get as much money out of it as possible into the hands of the people who need it in the way that they need it. I can't think of a time in our country's history where it's more important to give, and especially to this organization, to this industry that is in so much need. So hopefully you'll join us and become a monthly giver of Big Table.
Thanks, Mark and Tara. And thank you all so much for joining us tonight for Big Table Eats Around the World 2020 style. Or if we're being honest, Big Table eats around the house. But regardless, just know we are grateful for you being a part. We're grateful for your generosity. And we would be even more grateful if you shared this with some family and friends. With that though, I think this beloved hand sanitizer is back to you, Brad.
Hey, thanks, Chris. We truly do want you to be a part of this remarkable movement to care for those most in need, because what we can do together in the storm will change lives forever. So thank you.